live. We know you're out there. We're coming to get you.
Didn't even. Your eyes didn't even go on the camera. It's just like your mouth to the camera.
We know you're out there, Neil. We're coming to save you. You're the one.
So,
we're still in Florianopolis, in Brazil. Did our morning ritual. It's now 7:43 here. We wake up. Michael wakes up 4:55. I wake up 5:55. We do our morning ritual. Come back. Sit down. Think about what we're gonna talk about, and then we narrate the war for our brothers. So this call is for our brothers who have a battle to fight, yes, an adventure to live, and a beauty to rescue. And we're talking to the guys who are in the matrix, who are in the Western socially conditioned rhetoric, in the whole system, and living that life of a good man with
maybe not a good man.
or a good boy with a job and a relationship.
I just meant maybe they're not good.
Yes. Hopefully not. And doing all the right things, but feeling something is off. Something is like, is the job, that's not something I love doing. My relationships aren't helping me thrive in the way I foresaw it. I am not living my dreams, and something is off.
Yeah, I want to add in here to the context that it's not like we're outside of the matrix and they're stuck in the matrix, but there's a matrix of ways that we've been conditioned to compromise what's most dear to us. Man, this fucking install thing. How am I going to remember to make sure this doesn't come up during... Oh, this pisses me off.
Well, we have mine. So it's okay.
I'm gonna add it. I'm gonna add it to the goddamn formula right now.
So we have a formula, a system for our rituals, and we constantly upgrade them. And now just Michael's phone did strange, and it was the second time, so he's taking a note.
Anyway,
to upgrade that. Hold the line, Michael Skye. So, yes, of course. We're not outside the matrix, but so you said they've been. There's
what is the matrix? Do you remember the movie? And I think that was one of Neo's questions. What is the matrix, right? And he's stuck in it, right? So, what is the matrix? It's not just this, and I would say it's not this external thing. It's not the society or the government or like all this stuff outside of us. But it's here. It's inside here. And there's ways we've become conditioned to automatically, without even thinking about it, compromise what's most important to us without hardly even being aware of it. And then we're left less alive.
What do you mean by...
And we're left with some suffering.
What do you mean by what's most important to us?
And let me just say this. Remember that addiction conversation we had?
Don't ignore my question.
I'm ignoring your goddamn question. I'm putting it off, okay? I'm holding on to it. You hold on to it. I don't want it, that fucking question. So let me talk about I think this is key, because guys will say, I'm not suffering. Yes. But you cover over the suffering with addiction, distractions, everything else, right? So the compromise takes you away from your full aliveness, your honor, the things that would really have you be alive, and what you're left with is suffering. But to mask the suffering, we have our addictions, we have the ways that we're in a trance.
So what is most important? What is that aliveness? What is the thing that you say you gotta listen to? And that you would say, if you don't do it, you're compromising.
Well, I think in a practical sense, and this may not make sense without people going through the work. It's honor. It's honor, because honor is this. I'll explain it this way. At any moment in time, you're on some kind of spectrum about how much of, let's say, here's neutral, here's extreme honor on this side, and here's like extreme, let's say, guilt, shame on that side. At some point, at any point in time, in addition to whatever else is going on, whatever else you feel, you're also on some continuum of this overlay of feeling, and it's a feeling about yourself. It's a feeling about who you're being in relationship to the things that are most important to you, or that you say are most important to you. And so if you are not feeling honor, and you're gonna, or if you're feeling, when you're really present to yourself, you're feeling shame or guilt, then you are less empowered to face reality, to face other people, to face yourself, to access courage, to act boldly in line with your values. And so, you think of basic survival, it starts with what's out there. What's the threat? What's the threat to my people? What's the threat to my values? And in today's world, the threat, okay, there's coronavirus now, but there's not often like a real physical threat, right? There's not lions coming for us and things like this. But there's other things that can threaten our values. And so, and if we're not facing ourselves, facing other people, and facing reality, then it's going to be normal that the things that we care about just get cast by the wayside because we're not even paying attention. So honor is so important because it is that inner call to face and to stand for what's most important. And I know that's that's conceptual, but
so why, if it's so important, if it's so great, why are we not looking at it? What is happening there? What is that compromise then? Are we looking elsewhere? Or are we conditioned not to look at it? Do we not see the value? Is it taken from us?
You mean the fact that we don't pay attention to honor?
Yes. If it's so great, if it's so fantastic, it's so important, why don't we keep looking at it?
Well, first of all, a man who, or a child who, is really in tune with their honor, this is like the inner compass. This is the inner, let's say, affirmation that you're on the right path, is dangerous. Imagine a teacher in a class at school, and there's this one student in there who's like, I don't believe this, and I'm not going to follow that, and whatever. Like, I'm called to my own thing. I'm like, or a child in the house. This is not easy for the authorities. This is not easy for society when someone is so internally guided that they're not going to conform, they're not going to obey. They're on their own path. And so the training that we receive, the vast majority of training we receive, is to don't follow your inner guidance. Follow what we say is right. Follow what we want you to do. So that's one way that we are not even trained to pay attention to that feeling. Now, I grew up Mormon, and very much so, we paid attention to this feeling inside, and we had an interpretation of it, like this is the Holy Spirit, this is, and you can be guided by this. Now, from my perspective, there's some other challenges with that, because even inside of the Mormon religion, there's things that you're not supposed to think, you're not supposed to look at, you're not supposed to question, and you can easily feel guilty if you do. So, to me, this twists this inner guidance, because you're no longer, because what is inner guidance? This is like, imagine you're, I don't know, a robot or anything. It's like the function of thinking, consciousness, is to guide you to what's best for you, right? To your goals, to your values. And if you have been given this programming that says you can't look over here, don't look at this aspect of reality, don't think about this, you're bad if you entertain these thoughts, then you're really limiting your just ability just to be aware. What is over there? Wouldn't it be important to know, like, what's behind me? If I'm just going through life and I'm only like looking at what others outside of me say that I'm supposed to look at. So to me, like, radical self-honesty is, and facing and awareness is fundamental. Where honor comes in is honor gives you let's say the desire and the positive feedback to keep doing this, right? So if you don't have this feeling of honor in relationship to self-honesty, then you're going to be far less honest, and you're much easier to control. And not only that, you're going to have more self-doubt. You don't trust yourself to guide yourself because you're not even facing this whole realm of stuff. And so, are you gonna trust a leader who's like, let's ignore this half of reality, and just don't look over there? He doesn't look over there. Are you gonna go with that guy? So we have less self-trust when we don't have a relationship to like radical self-honesty and awareness and being present.
But it comes in the long term with suffering, and that's why man, even years and years of being trained and conforming to these towards comfort and image instead of, say, adventure and honor, they still, it's suffering. In the end, they're suffering, and you see men wake up to like, fuck, something is off here, something is wrong,
Yeah, let me speak to that, because there is a call to be honest. There is, like, let's say that you're a father and your small child has walked towards the street, but you're watching the football game, right? Like, there's going to be like, where's my child? Where's my child? Go look to where my child is. But you're ignoring that. It's going to get louder. It's going to get louder. It's going to get louder. And you don't do it, and you don't do it, and you don't do it. And not only you feel more fear, but you're feeling bad about yourself over time, less trust in yourself, because you're not simply, your guidance system is saying, ding, 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 pay attention to this is important, and you're not looking at it. So this is the suffering comes in how you start feeling about yourself over time, that you are not answering the fundamental call to look at what's important, to look at reality. So that's the first piece, facing, the call to face. And a lot of times the call to face is fear, or is something like that. Now, the second call, after you face and see what's going on, my kid's, he's getting close to the busy street. Next is the call to stand, and it's like, go get my kid. This is the call to stand. So, we do this practice when we go out to the beach in the morning of taking a stand, and the first thing that we do is we face everything that's there that we might not be facing, that might otherwise, if we don't face it, lead us to compromise what's most important to us. And then we stand, and it's not just a thing that we say, it's something that we do. So, but this is all to cultivate honor,
right,
which is then going to have us be more present throughout the day, facing more courageously each other, ourselves, our mission, and reality.
So if we're talking to the guy who has suffered from not answering the call, not following the inner guidance, and starts looking at it, starts facing it, right? He waking up in a certain way, he's facing it, and he's ready to take a stand. He may even have taken a stand. I want a different life. I want adventure. I want honor. I want something different than what I'm living right now, and I'm gonna go get it. What is that guy gonna face or what's going to happen with him, what obstacles are going to be on his way to like to completely answer that call and keep following that.
Many. It is a great adventure. I mean, it's like sailing across the ocean a couple hundred years ago, not knowing if you're going to make it, not knowing if the world is really flat or round, and what's going to happen if you do land on the other side? Are you going to be destroyed by the natives? And like this is a grand adventure, and it's a real challenge to reclaim your full inner authority, to where you really have full trust in yourself, confidence in yourself. And if we talk about self-esteem and confidence and these things are about how much do you trust you to guide yourself. This is a fundamental issue. Like, this is fundamental to life, to thriving.
Is that the end result, that you trust yourself to guide yourself?
Well, anything that you want to do, the more trust and capability you have to guide yourself, the better off you're going to be, right? If you're going to head into the Amazon jungle and, you've... Go ahead.
So I would like to know the obstacles, but I would like to know what we're heading. What's the other side of the jungle? What's the other side of the ocean, say? What's that making it look like?
Well, one way of saying making it is becoming the man that you're called to be. Like there is, you could say, within you these calls to step up and be the man that I'm being called to be. And even fear is a calling. Fear is saying, face this, stand, defend what's most important to me. And so one is be the man that you sense you could be if you answered the calls that you're not answering, right? That's one version of making it. But
all right. So that's the other side of the ocean.
Well, that's one. Let me just speak to that some more. I would say that what there is for a guy who has not really been powerfully answering the call, he likely has no deep relationship to honor, because if he did, he couldn't let himself veer that far away from it. It is such a pleasurable, powerful thing that to just, how can you let yourself go away from it? So I think most guys who could let it go so far away from it, never really knew it that strongly in the first place. Many of them. So one challenge is to reclaim your sacred honor and your relationship to it, and to hold it sacred in your life again. Cherish it, protect it, defend it. That's one great feat that there is for you to take on. Another one is,
well, if he hasn't been close to it,
yes,
he won't understand what you just said. He says, what do you mean? If he has no relationship with that honor and the guidance, he's going to.
Well, that's why we're here.
What are you talking about?
That's why we're here.
I thought we were talking to the Neos who already saw the light and say, "Fuck this."
Well, let's go back to the Neo in the Matrix. He doesn't know what's out there. He doesn't know what the Matrix is. He doesn't know who Morpheus is.
But he does get a sense something is off.
Something is off, right? Everyone can tell something's off, right? But they don't. It's not like they know what it's going to be like outside of the Matrix, right? It's not like they know what's possible for them. It's not like he knows that he can have this great power. He knows none of that. He just knows something's off. That's enough, man. That's enough, right? So, but other great feats on this Ronin journey would be to reclaim a sacred role of honor for your people. Every man naturally feels called to be a hero for his people, to have a role for his people where he feels honor. And this is so natural. You can just point to someone falls down in the street and you want to go help them. Men want to be a hero for their people. This is so natural. So, but many men don't even feel like, well, who are my people? And he doesn't have any special heroic role for them. and they don't have any way of honoring him in that role, and it's a huge missing. It's a huge missing, and if he can create this or reclaim this or accept this, take this on, carry this burden for his people, it's a huge source of honor. It's a huge way to just have a lot of honor flowing into your life. It's very much what happens, for example, an easy way to do this is become a father, you know. Every day you're going to wake up and there's my kid and I need to go out and face the world and provide for him and protect him. That's a very natural way, but that's a simple way of like, that kid, he's your people, you know, right. Go be your father. But it's you could expand, right? You could say, let's say you're not married to the mother and she's somehow over there, baby mama, whatever, you're judging her, she's judging you. You could take on, she's my people too. Who I am for my son is the one who's also going to care for his mother, even in the face of whatever shit she brings. And a great question here is, you know, who am I for my people? Who am I choosing to be for my people in the face of anything? Is a question that evokes honor, that evokes the call to honor.
Many ways to step into that role, but the initial question was a guy who's determined, who felt something is off, and he wants to listen and hear the voice, the inner guidance more clearly. There are many obstacles that are going to come on this journey across the ocean, many sea monsters and natives and whatever.
Yes.
What are those obstacles? Once a guy has said, I've seen the light, I want to go towards it. Even if he has made a stand, you know, I want to be this guy in the world. What are the obstacles along the way?
Well, let's use the analogy of the story of the Matrix. So, you know, Neo, he's heard of Morpheus. He's heard of he's like, what is the Matrix? And he's asking these questions. He's searching online, staying up all night. He's like, something's off, and you know, I don't buy into the world that the authorities are expecting me to live. This job, what the fuck is this job? And he gets a call all of a sudden, and it's Morpheus, and he's like, this is Morpheus. You've got 5 seconds. The agents are coming, right? Go here, go there, and then he goes like he's escaping through the office, right? And he gets to the balcony outside, and Morpheus tells him to jump or to step across to the other side, and he's too scared, and he doesn't, and then he gets caught and he gets taken into the police, and they chastise him and everything else. I think one thing is making a leap that will land you in a place that's in a world where you wake up in the morning and you're like, I leaped. I'm not in the same world anymore, you know. And I think it's a very powerful thing, because I think if you're really feeling stuck, if you're really feeling like a numbed aliveness, if you're really feeling like you're not feeling a call to great honor or adventure, and you're just kind of like, life is like, or you wake up feeling like shit, or you're just simply not as alive as you could be, then, you know, when you get, for example, a call from brothers or from a call to the hero for your family, and there's fear there, accept the call, go, commit, do it. And then establish a pattern of doing it, of answering the call in the face of the fear. So, you know, I did this early on in my life, and I I'm just thinking of an analogy I can use from my life, but.
Well, I was going to ask you, what were the leaps you took?
Okay, I'm going to share. I was thinking, do I want to share this one? Should I share this one? But I don't know if I was 16 or it was probably 16, And my dad left home a few years earlier, and it was a tough time for our family and for my mother. And I was always causing trouble. And this one day,
Not much has changed much.
I provoked my mother, and she came chasing me down the stairs. And I ran into the rec room and closed the door and locked it like she's mad, And my mom is, she's a force to be reckoned with. Let's say that. And so I'm like, whew, I got it locked in time, And I take I'm 10 feet back from the door. All of a sudden, boosh, she goes barreling through the door. The door slams open. I'm like, holy shit. Because I'm not going to fight my mother, But she's coming for me, And there's a door to the outside, and I sprint for this door. And it's like, I'm trying to unlock it, it's stuck, and I'm like, the fear is building. I just barely make it out in time. And I run, I get a little bit out, and I'm clear she can't catch me now, And she's angry, and I got all this adrenaline built up and this fear. And in this moment, and she's yelling at me, you get back here. And in this moment in time, what I did was I just framed her inside of these two middle fingers, and I shouted, fuck you. And I kept shouting until she quieted down. Now, Mom, if you're watching this, I would never do that to you these days. And
we all met in Ecuador last year.
Yes, I cherish and love my mom and respect my mom. However, and she still doesn't understand my rebellion in these times, but for me, I was fighting for my own autonomy. I was fighting for, I was living in a house without a father, and with my mother, who was raging against the patriarchy of the church, raging against her own father, raging against the father of her children, and she was on her own rebellion. But she was very much I heard many things negative about men and everything, and I'm becoming a man, and I'm trying to, for me, this was if I don't fight this, I could end up a broken man. I might not become a man, So for me, it's and then eventually, I got lots of great stories, but we don't have time to tell them on the call. But sometimes the call doesn't look pretty, or sometimes answering the call doesn't look pretty. But a lot of times fear is a great call, to stand up for yourself.
So you got
in ways that you haven't been.
So you got the obstacle that maybe you have to jump at some point, like Neil had to jump, like you had to face, and it's not necessarily pretty. Could be scary. That's why Neil didn't want to do it. He was scared. Mm-hmm. What are other obstacles that guys that are determined to answer the call, walk that path? What are they gonna have to face?
Oh man, well, if there's ways that they've not been answering the call for their entire life or for a long time, then they have all kinds of inner programming that has excused that behavior. They have things that they've told themselves every time that they didn't step up, that this is like wiring now. This is programming that makes it easy to compromise over and over and over. So
you're also what I'm thinking of, you're also gonna not only face your own judgments, but you're gonna face judgments of the others.
Yes.
Of the people that have been around you all this time.
The wiring is the matrix.
Yeah.
It's thick. It's programming to compromise. And for many guys, they'll say, "Well, I'm not really compromising. I'm on the path to going for my dreams." First, I'm not saying you're not. And what happens is, what we do when we're faced with enough conflicts that I don't want to step up and do that. I don't want to step up and be the man in this way. What we'll do is we'll start developing beliefs that make it so we're comfortable not facing that conflict ever again. For example, I'm not like that. I'm like this, or the world is like this, or And we develop this position that we can sit in comfortably and be like, yeah, I'm not compromising because I don't actually want that anymore. Yes. And I don't believe that anymore. And so I'm comfortable right here and I'm not compromising. So we will construct our own matrix.
Right.
We will construct our own matrix, our own eggshell to feel comfortable inside of. If we don't have to face this goal or dream that we once had anymore seriously, then it no longer calls us. It doesn't confront us. For example,
we're not talking. We're talking to Neo. You know, we're not talking to the guy who's wired up, if completely in the matrix. You know.
But that was Neo.
Yeah, no,
he was still
Neo is
in the.
Yes, but he has a sense something is off. Something I gotta break free.
Yes.
You know, so.
But even when he's in there, it's still just an illusion because he's still in this egg in reality.
Yes.
And one thing, let me say this. One thing he needs, or he could really use, is brothers to come back for him.
Yes.
It doesn't need to be all him. And it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. We should go back for our brothers, you know? And that's a natural call as well, you know?
We know you're out there. We're coming for you.
It's a good thing that smell doesn't translate through the...
I was going to say that 10 minutes ago, but I didn't.
But this is part of the challenge as well, is going back for our brothers. And even to whatever extent we feel that we're free from the matrix, we can start now. And this is a great way to bring honor into our life. This is a great way to have a role of honor for our people, is say, there's a younger brother.
Exactly.
There's my son. There's my neighbor's kid. There's a younger man, and I'm going to show up for him. I'm going to stand for him. I'm going to have his back. I'm going to encourage him.
I make a joke of it, but it's very real. I feel that sense of honor to know if a guy is out there and he's determined. He has warrior spirit. He's determined to do something different, to break free, you know? I want to be there for that guy. Not like I'm gonna pull you out, I'm gonna teach you, but I know you know the game is afoot, that something is up, you know, and I want to be at the service of that.
Yes.
You know, I want to, because you're the one, you know, and so not that like I'm gonna teach and save or convince you, but I need you because you're the one, and I want to be at the service of your liberation.
And so many older men have a deep need to be of service in this way and to mentor, to share their wisdom, and there's such a call there. There's such a strong call, and for older men who don't have that, they don't have a way to mentor, to help bring up other younger men. It's a big missing, and there's a lot of times there's a lot of grief there, even if they don't know where it's from or whatever. There's that huge missing, and in our Western culture in America, in a lot of ways, we've cast away our older people. You know, like they don't play the same role. We don't have the same respect for them, and younger people often don't treat older people any differently than they treat their friends. There is no respect for your elders, and in fact there's kind of like I'm not going to respect anyone unless they respect me first, and we treat everyone as equals. And it's there is a stand there that we make in doing that. Like we don't want to follow older people who are not themselves living a courageous life, who are not themselves answering the call. We don't want to just be shamed into respecting them for no reason, and that's a good thing actually. So there's both and I think one of the ways that older men can go back for younger men, it's not just going and wagging our fingers and saying, you know, you should be doing this, you know, you should be responsible. No, first live in such a way that a younger man is gonna look at you and say, wanna live the kind of life he's living. I want to be the kind of man he is. And second, make the call, and that is giving a call to younger men just by being that kind of a man. And secondly, go to the younger man in a way where you see him in a context of honor. You see him as a potentially great man, and give him calls to adventure. Give him calls to honor, and encourage that.
Who are you advising instead of just, we gotta do it. So, if you're watching, we know you're out there. If you have heard the call for adventure, for greatness, to be extraordinary, then you're the one, and we need you. And answer the call, and we'll give you an escape plan. Because we need you.
Yes.
You're the one, and we need you. And I want to be at your service. I want to help you get out of it, break free, because I need you as a warrior next to me, fighting this.
Yeah,
So,
there's a lot of people who think, like, people use the metaphor of the red pill from the Matrix. And a lot of times we think, oh, because I watched a video or I got some knowledge or something, I've taken the red pill, now I can see what's going on around me. But if you're still not fully alive, if you're not in your power, if you're just sitting around watching red pill videos and thinking that you're better than those who don't have this greater knowledge in some way, who don't see the world in a more enlightened way, or see the bullshit that's going on, if you are not in your power out there in the service of your mission, your people, your vision, you are still in the Matrix.
let me put it differently.
Knowledge is not enough.
Yes.
Knowledge is not enough.
Let me put it in different terms. If you, like in my work, people come and ask for medicine. There's a situation with a girl, let's say, and we want to solve it. What text should I send her? And I enjoy doing it. If I'm a love doctor, I love to give the medicine of this text now to solve the problem now. But don't forget that those are symptoms. And I want you to also be on your way to change your lifestyle, so we don't get at the point anymore where you need the medicine. And so it's great that they use that use the metaphor.
It's almost as if they're coming to you and they're like, "Doctor, I'm a little bit uncomfortable. Can you help make me comfortable again?"
Yes.
Right? And then you give them something to feel more comfortable. But we do this to use your metaphor, we do this a lot in life, and people can be completely not caring for their body at all, not transforming into a healthy, strong man, just sitting around eating Cheetos and drinking Pepsi and destroying their body and being like, "Doctor, I don't feel comfortable. Give me some medicine."
Right.
And you're inviting them to stand up, transform into this man who is strong, healthy, capable, attractive, and on a great adventure in life.
Not just take a pill, but completely break free and completely change your ways.
And you want to also play the role in their life of not just being the doctor who helps them go back to sleep in a comfortable life where they're not on this great adventure and path to greatness. You want to be the one who is with them on this path to greatness, as you're also on the path, as I'm on the path. Is that?
Yes. Last call. We know you're out there. If you want to break free, we'll let you know. Answer the call. We'll see you tomorrow.